It's a safe bet that the upcoming movie will be taking a cue from its predecessor rather than the movie that kicking off the crossover series. When last we left Godzilla and Kong, they were able to defeat their dangerous doppelgangers, Shimu and Scar King. Thanks to their victory, Kong was able to become the king of a new race of primates in the Hollow Earth. Hello, movie and TV fans, young and old. Welcome to the Cinema Gold Show. I'm your host, Larry Lease. On today's episode, we're going to dive into the latest box office news and headlines from around the industry. And of course, if we miss anything, let us know. We'll be happy to either cover it in a new episode or just create a short video discussing that topic. As always, hit that subscribe button, the bell notification button to be notified of future videos. And with that, let's dive into our first topic. This weekend destroyed box office myths. Quiet Place prequel opens to $53 million, while Indian epic smokes Horizon. Inside Out 2 is in its third week and will gross $57.4 million, with A Quiet Place Day 1 estimating $53 million. The last time two films grossed over $50 million on the same weekend was last July, when Barbie and Oppenheimer opened. Before that, 2017. This is rare because distributors like to space out films with this potential. Even though it's not a direct competitor, Paramount likely opted to open its prequel 2 weeks after Pixar. No one expected Inside Out to be this strong at this point. $469 million domestic after only 17 days? This is summer the way it's supposed to be. 3 films opened to over $50 million over 4 weeks. With Despicable Me opening tomorrow, should make it 4 over 5 weeks. It justifies more optimism for the future than we've had for a long time. That's reason to be pleased. Last year, late May and early June had 5 films open and are above that level across 5 weeks. The last was The Flash, which was considered a disappointment at $55 million. However, many of these releases cost much less than the ill-fated DC title. Day 1 cost $67 million, Bad Boys $100 million. It makes a big difference when studios show a real profit for their efforts. Even with the pending Despicable Me 4 as competition, Inside Out 2 is on track for a domestic haul of $600 million or more. Even has a shot at topping Barbie at $636 million, last year's top domestic release. The Day 1 result is also surprising. It overshot tracking and lay waste to the post-Furiosa analysis that prequels were a problem. Day 1 had the best first weekend in the franchise. It also benefited from higher ticket prices and summer placement, plus overcame what has been a lackluster performance for horror genre films this year. Bad Boys Ride or Die in its 4th week is number 4 over $10 million and at $165 million, nearly equal to previous entry Bad Boys for Life at the same point. Again, far better than predicted. However, the bounty didn't extend to Kevin Costner's Horizon and American Saga Chapter 1. His Dances with Tropes Western managed only $11 million with a B- cinema score, suggesting that word of mouth will not improve things. With Costner's significant investment in Chapter 2 coming in August, the films are reported to have cost $100 million combined before marketing. This one will leave a mark. It's another case where Cannes premiere hype, including silly timing of ovations, did little good, similar to Furiosa and Indiana Jones before it. The Indian market came through strong. I'm going to butcher this name, so I'm just going to call it 2898 AD. Telugu language 72 million epic that opened Thursday took 5th for the weekend with just under 11 million in a little over 1,200 theaters. That's nearly 9,000 per theater average. Jet and Juliet 3, a Punjabi language rom-com sequel, placed 9th with 1.5 million in only a little over 140 theaters and a per theater gross of over 10,500. By comparison, Horizon was in over 4,000 theaters for an average of almost $2,700. The traditional specialized market would kill for results like that. Instead, multiple turns at the plate this week showed from modest to bad results for some films with genuine prospects. Best of the bunch is acclaimed last summer, which outshone others with a 30,000 debut in 3 New York and LA theaters. Also impressive is the ongoing release of Thelma, which grossed 1.3 million in a little over 1,000 theaters. It's now at 5.1 million. The second weekend of Jeff Nichols' The Bike Riders, after a credible near 10 million opening, dropped 66%. That's more on the film than its distributor. And after Kinds of Kindness grossed 75,000 per theater in 5 theaters, Searchlight quickly expanded to 490 theaters. However, it grossed 1.5 million this weekend for just over 3,000 per theater. Better than Costner, but still. After The Favorite and Poor Things each grossed over 30 million, this will strain to get anywhere near 10 million. This cost 15 million with good foreign prospects. Sony's Crunchyroll saw another underwhelming anime result with Blue Lock the movie. It grossed just over 1 million in 857 theaters. That was far better than Daddy-O with Sean Penn and Dakota Johnson, which managed a weak 440,000 in 628 theaters, an average of just $701 each. Janet Planet, which had a promising platform debut last week, was a weak 187,000 in 315 theaters. The weekend totaled around 153 million, up from 128 million last year. Year to date, box office is down 19%. So to recap our top 10, we have Inside Out. Number 1, Quiet Place. Day 1. Number 2. Number 3 is Horizon, American Saga. Chapter 1. 4 is Bad Boys Ride or Die. 5 is what I'm just calling 2898 AD. Number 6 is The Bike Riders. 7 is the Garfield movie. Number 8 is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Number 9 is Jet and Juliet 3. 10 is Kinds of Kindness. And now on to our next topic. Former Rockstar Games executive Dan Houser has revealed that a Grand Theft Auto movie hasn't happened yet because he didn't want to give up creative control to a movie studio. When interest in a GTA movie was high, most video game adaptations weren't very good, and it would be a challenge to make Grand Theft Auto movie due to the franchise's lack of a clear protagonist and the difficulty of capturing the player freedom and chaos that made the game so popular. Former GTA franchise executive Dan Houser explained why audiences won't be getting a movie adaptation of the hit video game. After the release of the first game in 1997, the world of Rockstar Games' successful franchise expanded with numerous sequels and spin-offs, most recently with the acclaimed Grand Theft Auto V in 2013. While the series continues to be immensely popular and excitement for the upcoming GTA 6 remains at an all-time high, Grand Theft Auto movie hasn't yet come to fruition. In a recent interview with The Ankler, Houser, who left his position as co-founder, head writer, and VP of creativity at Rockstar in 2020, explained why a Grand Theft Auto movie never happened. According to the executive, there was too much risk involved in relinquishing control over their highly lucrative franchise, especially at a time when most video game adaptations weren't very good. Saying, quote, "After a few awkward dates, we'd ask executives why would we do this, and their response was, because you get to make a movie. And we'd be like, no, what you've described is you're making a movie and us having no control and taking a huge risk that we're going to end up paying for with something that belongs to us." They thought we'd be blinded by the lights, and that just wasn't the case. We had what we considered to be multi-billion-dollar IP, and the economics never made sense. The risk never made sense. In those days, the perception was that games made poor quality movies. It's a different time now. The question is, should a GTA movie adaptation happen? Grand Theft Auto remains immensely popular, meaning there would be a large built-in audience for any movie adaptation. If the movie did move forward, however, it would face a number of key challenges. Unlike a game like Red Dead Redemption or its hit sequel, there isn't one clear Grand Theft Auto protagonist that serves as an obvious choice around which to build a film. Many of the game's characters are memorable, but most don't have the same kind of emotionally resonant arc that someone like Red Dead Redemption 2's Arthur Morgan has. The real appeal of GTA is really the world, the tone, and the gameplay. The games have interesting stories with evolving characters, but it's the total player freedom that's arguably responsible for catapulting the games to success. Players can essentially do whatever they want. From stealing cars to mugging civilians, to street racing to fending off police SWAT teams, and capturing this same feeling and tonality in a movie could be a challenge. That being said, recent game adaptations have certainly proven that it could be done under the right circumstances. The review for Prime Video's Fallout, for example, were glowing, as were those for The Last of Us. The Super Mario Bros. Movie may not have been a winner with critics, but audiences loved it, and it became a box office success. It's unclear whether a Grand Theft Auto movie will ever happen, but it certainly has the potential to be a major hit if it does. Let me know in the comment section below. Would you watch a GTA movie? If so, how do you think they should film it? Me personally, I think I would go ahead with the movie if you can make a fair deal with studios and whatnot, and just film the movie from a villain standpoint, not like a major villain, but like any of the characters in GTA 5. And with that, we dive into our next topic. Warner Brothers has unveiled a release date for their next MONSTERVERSE movie. It should come as no surprise that the MONSTERVERSE is continuing thanks to the success of its latest entry, Godzilla Kong: The New Empire. The crossover sequel rose to new heights and became one of the most profitable films in the universe's history, as the King of the Monsters and Skull Island's ruler tackled bizarre new threats. Also, the MONSTERVERSE saw success with Apple TV's Monarch Legacy of Monsters, a series that was renewed for a second season following its critically acclaimed debut. Now, Warner Bros. Discovery has confirmed when fans can expect to see the MONSTERVERSE return to the silver screen. The next Godzilla Kong movie might not have a working title as of this episode, but it has already been confirmed by its writer and director. The creator helming the script is Dave Callaham, who has experience tackling a handful of science fiction hits. He was responsible for the likes of Shang-Chi, Legends of the Ten Rings, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Mortal Kombat, and Zombieland Double Tap. And the director's chair for the next film will be Grant Couture, the director of I Am Mother. Unfortunately, due to scheduling conflicts, the director of Godzilla vs. Kong and Godzilla Kong: The New Empire, Adam Wingard, was unable to return. According to a new report from Deadline, the next movie in the MONSTERVERSE will hit theaters on March 26, 2027. While Godzilla vs. Kong was released on Max alongside its theatrical release, the same couldn't be said for Godzilla Kong: The New Empire, as it was strictly released in theaters at first. It's a safe bet that the upcoming movie will be taking a cue from its predecessor, rather than the movie that kicking off the crossover series. When last we left Godzilla and Kong, they were able to defeat their dangerous doppelgangers, Shimu and Scar King. Thanks to their victory, Kong was able to become the king of a new race of primates in the Hollow Earth, while Godzilla would go on to earn a much-needed rest. While nothing has been revealed about the third film's plot, there are plenty of kaiju that has yet to be reimagined for the MONSTERVERSE from Godzilla's history. Want to learn all the details about the upcoming return of the MONSTERVERSE? Stay with Cinema Gold Show. And now on to our next topic. The latest Deadpool and Wolverine trailer has teased the highly anticipated X-Men matchup that everyone has been waiting for. Only a month remains. Actually, now, as of this episode, just a few more weeks until Deadpool and Wolverine slashes its way to theaters, and the film's newest trailer did more than showcase the MCU's upcoming anti-heroes. This brand new teaser revealed among another highly anticipated matchup in the X-Men franchise that even Deadpool is excited to witness. Let's not forget that Wolverine will also be going head-to-head with Deadpool in this film, so it will be interesting to see how many foes and adversaries there will be who are after this mutant. In the latest preview, Deadpool continues to plead to Wolverine to help him in his mission to save everything that he's ever cared about, and that he's the answer to his prayers. While Wolverine doubts his heroism, especially due to what happened in his multiverse, Deadpool still sees a hero in him. After another fourth wall break about explosions and the Schrodinger's cat scenario of either of them would live or die, it ends with Wolverine facing Sabretooth. But before the battle begins, Deadpool calls for a timeout as he acknowledges how this duel is something people waited decades for. Sabretooth first appeared in the 2000 X-Men movie, played by Tyler Mane. Back then, Wolverine faced this mutant in combat, but the battle ended with Cyclops finishing Sabretooth off, knocking him off the Statue of Liberty. Hopefully, Deadpool and Wolverine will give fans the battle that fans wanted to see, especially since these two tend to constantly butt heads with each other in the comics due to different ideals. Deadpool has teased numerous characters during the lead up to its theatrical release. While it has been confirmed that Taylor Swift's Dazzler will not make an appearance, the film teased the appearance of Lady Deadpool as well as Dogpool, alongside the Deadpool variants of Cassandra Nova, will also be featured, said to be the film's upcoming villain. Meanwhile, Jennifer Garner will reprise her role as Elektra, according to The Hollywood Reporter. Other X-Men alumni have been asked throughout the past few months about their possible return to the franchise, as Disney has been sprinkling a few characters in various Marvel projects. While Brian Cox isn't interested in returning to the franchise, Famke Janssen gave a vague response about a potential cameo as Jean Grey. Deadpool and Wolverine is entering cinemas on July 26, 2024. Let me know in the comments section below, what are you hoping to see in this new Deadpool movie? And with that, we dive into our next topic. The sad news that Martin Mull has passed away at the age of 80. Comic actor Martin Mull, who's appeared in a variety of memorable roles over the course of his career, has passed away. The news was announced on Instagram by his daughter Maggie Mull, including a photo of Mull with a canine companion. Maggie included a message sharing that her father had died on Thursday. He went on to describe how much he will be missed by not only his friends, family, and co-workers, but his animal pals as well. As an actor, one of Mull's most well-known roles was as Colonel Mustard in the 1985 Clue movie. He'd go on to appear in a variety of films over the years, including Far Out Man with Tommy Chong, Mrs. Doubtfire with Robin Williams, Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and 101 Dalmatians with Glenn Close. He also appeared in other films like Mr. Mom, Beverly Hills Family Robinson, Richie Rich's Christmas Wish, Boyfriend for Christmas, A Futile and Stupid Gesture. Mull had previously launched his acting career on the small screen in the 90s with his role in the classic TV series Mary Hartman. He reprised his role for the spin-off shows Fernwood Tonight and America Tonight. Mull is also remembered for playing Leon Karp in the hit sitcom Roseanne, Willard Kraft in Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Jerry in The Ranch, Gene Parmesan in Arrested Development, and Russell the pharmacist in 2.5 Men, Ed Munn in The Ellen Show, and Charlie and the Cool Kids. His final roles were in 2023 for the shows Not Dead Yet and The After Party. Previously, he has also appeared in a wide variety of notable TV shows, including The New Adventures of Wonder Woman, Taxi, The Golden Girls, Reba, Reno 911, Law & Order SVU, Psych, NCIS Los Angeles, and Grace and Frankie. His voiceover work has included Family Dog, Simpsons, Family Guy, Dexter's Laboratory, Danny Phantom, and Bob's Burgers. And before we dive into our next segment, we'd like to mention our sponsor, Good Ranchers. Are you tired of the same old bland grocery store meats? Upgrade your meals with the incredible quality and taste from Good Ranchers. I can tell you firsthand that Good Ranchers delivers the best American sourced beef, chicken, and seafood right to your doorstep. What makes Good Ranchers stand out? It's simple. Their commitment to providing only the finest ethically raised meats from trusted local farmers. Every order you receive is hand-cut, perfectly portioned, and vacuum sealed to ensure maximum freshness and flavor. And guess what? You can skip the hassle of the supermarket and have peace of mind knowing exactly where your food comes from. Plus, with their flexible subscription options, you'll never run out of your favorite cuts. Enjoy the convenience and superior quality without breaking the bank. So why wait? Elevate your grilling game, impress your family and friends, and savor the delicious difference with Good Ranchers. Visit the link in the description today and taste the quality you deserve. Good Ranchers. From family farms to your family table. Bon appetit. And now, we're going to get rid of 5 more states. If you missed our last episode, you can go back and see the states that we got rid of. This week, my next 5, are going to be Utah, just mainly because there's really nothing there, honestly. Vermont, uh, Rhode Island, just, I mean, I will say Rhode Island's a little more, beautiful and special. But again, there's not really, do we even get anything from Rhode Island? Not really. And then we go to Michigan. Yes, I know. Detroit's the Motor City. Excuse me. That was my phone. I know we get, the Motor City in Michigan, but I think future of cars is moving away to other states, thanks to Tesla and other people, including overseas. But other than that, they're not doing us any favors. And finally, people are going to kill me for saying this, and I'm sure somebody's going to yell at me, but I'm going to go with Illinois. Yes, I love Chicago. But, like for the rest, I think Illinois has run its course. We don't really need it. It's not like an important state, but that's it. And now, on to our review of A Quiet Place Day 1, which I will say is the best movie in the series. Well, I wasn't expecting this. I enjoyed John Krasinski's first two A Quiet Place movies, particularly the first one, which was both a story of grief and a fun little monster movie with a neat hook. Aliens who are extra sensitive to sound have invaded Earth and killed off a bunch of people. So the survivors have to stay very, very quiet. These movies didn't exactly reinvent the wheel, but they paid homage to the work of Spielberg and even George A. Romero, and mostly got the job done. Although I'll admit most of the events of the sequel have slipped my mind, even though I saw it when it hit theaters. Now we have A Quiet Place Day 1, which is not only the third entry in the franchise, but also a prequel. That gives one pause. Third films are notoriously difficult to pull off, and prequels can often be little more than fast, cheap cash grabs. A lazy approach to keep the box office dollars flowing when everyone has run out of new ideas. But that's not what A Quiet Place Day 1 is. Oh no. For this entry, Krasinski handed the reins over to writer-director Michael Cernorsky, who helmed the wonderful, surprising Nicolas Cage movie Pig. And here's the thing. Michael is a better filmmaker than John Krasinski. I'm not here to bury Krasinski. I did get to meet him once. He's a really nice guy. But I think he's capable enough as a director, but Cernorsky has a firmer grip on this material. A steadier hand. The end result is one of the most surprising films of the summer. A beautiful, meditative, character-based drama that occasionally reminds you it's also a monster movie. I'm genuinely curious to see how Cernorsky approach goes over to a larger crowd. For what it's worth, the audience at my screening ate this film up, clapping on multiple occasions. Anyone going into Day 1 expect a cheesy monster movie with simple chills and thrills might be shocked at how quiet it all is. Yes, there are action scenes where those nasty long-limbed aliens attack, but it's clear that's not what Sarnorsky is interested in. He's interested in the moments in between, and those are the moments that really sing. As the title implies, A Quiet Place Day 1 takes us back to the beginning, the first day of the alien invasion. Sarnowski wisely understands that this doesn't mean we need a ton of backstory. We don't learn more about the aliens, or where they came from, or even their motivations. Like a bolt from the blue or a terrorist attack, they simply arrive one day and death and destruction follows. Our guide through this is Sam, a young woman with a very good cat named Frodo. Seriously, if there was an Oscar for cats, this feline would kill it. Sam is in New York City when the aliens attack, and Cernowski wastes no time. After a very brief intro that tells us exactly what we need to know about Sam and her situation, I'm being vague here to avoid any major spoilers, all hell breaks loose. Explosions follow, dust and smoke fill the air, and people are pulled off to their deaths by hideous monsters. Sam is knocked unconscious and wakes up later in the theater, where she's informed by a helpful man to stay quiet. Sam gets it right away. Noise attracts the aliens. Here, We are given one of the first of many arresting images, an entire theater of people trying to stay extremely quiet. If only modern movie theaters were like this, am I right? They have an incredible eye for staging little moments that pop, and day one is full of lingering shots of a world suddenly ground to a silent halt. We've seen plenty of post apocalyptic imagery in movies and TV before, so it's not exactly fresh, but Chernovsky manages to make it seem both vivid and haunting here. Books scattered by a bookstore, probably never to be read again, silhouettes of people watching bridges toppling, blood spattered on car doors, a flooded subway, two characters kneeling in front of a fire burning from an open manhole. These quiet little moments stun and invoke a city in ruin. One shot of dazed New Yorkers wandering in a mass group through a dusty street will no doubt remind some of images from 9/11, making these scenes of quiet horror painfully familiar. While most of the survivors are trying to make their way to a seaport to get on an evacuation boat, the aliens can't swim. Sam decides to go to Harlem for her own personal reasons, including wanting to grab a slice of pizza. That might sound silly, but be honest. You want pizza, right? Don't you? During her journey, Frodo the cat in tow, Sam encounters Eric. This is when the movie really comes to life. Sam wants to be left alone at first, but Eric keeps following her like a sad puppy, or a stalker if you want to be cynical about it. Eventually, the two begin to bond. There's a wonderful moment where Sam and Eric take shelter in Sam's apartment during a thunderstorm. They read poetry in the dark, and when the thunder booms, they both let out primal anguish cries, furious and hurt at what they've both gone through. And then they move through empty New York, growing closer in quiet little moments. At times, it even feels like Sarnowski is trying to channel Richard Linklater's before movies and telling the story of two strangers bonding as they wander through a city. Before your eyes roll out of your head, I'm not saying A Quiet Place Day One is as good as the before movies, but the comparison popped into my head as I watched the film unfold. Excuse me. The two characters have wonderful chemistry together, and while I don't want to give you the impression that this is a romance, I will say I found the quiet little moments they share to be rather lovely. There's a simple, unremarked upon scene where Sam drapes her yellow cardigan sweater over Eric's shoulders that's achingly touching. Occasionally there are moments when the monsters attack, but I confess I found these to be the least interesting scenes in the film, and some of the action is muddled and needlessly hard to follow. The trailers for Quiet Place Day 1 are selling this as an action pick, and I do wonder if some casual moviegoers will feel like they've been lied to, where they see what this film really is. No matter, I can only speak for myself, and I was taken aback in the best possible way. Against all odds, this is the best movie in the series. How wonderful is it to be surprised? And with that, I'm going to leave this film with a rating. Let's see. Can't say it's a 10. I'm going to go with a 8.5. It's good. There's a little bit that could have been fixed, but it's good. It's good nonetheless. And now we're going to play a game where we rank some of the most popular sports. So starting off, we got, I believe it's badminton, and I played it a little bit. It's fun, but I haven't even watched it or played it in a very long time. So it's going to go B. And of course, I should mention, if you haven't seen these rankings before on other channels, S is the best, D is the worst. And then we got archery. I would never take part in archery just because it seems like you're putting so much energy into shooting those arrows. I mean, it looks fun, don't get me wrong. So for me, it goes in D. And then we have volleyball. That's tough, honestly. Volleyball, I'm gonna put it A. I love watching it in person. I was a big fan of it in college, and I've played it with friends. It's kind of one of those games that you can play with a group of friends because it's not exactly the most complicated game to play with people. And next is boxing. Of course, I'm never gonna box in person, and it's not the best sport, but it's not the worst. Boxing. I'm gonna put that at C. Interesting story though about boxing. I'm not a diehard fan of it. I've never watched that many matches. The only one I recall actually watching when Tyson fought Holyfield and bit off his ear. That's the only match I think I've ever watched. Now we're gonna go to rugby. I haven't played it, but I really love watching it. I'm waiting to watch it in person. I think I'm gonna have to give it the S tier. And swimming. I think swimming is pointless. I mean, I get the exercise benefit of it, and I mean it is good for cooling off. So I'm gonna put it at B. Next we have biking. Just like archery, it's a lot of energy you gotta use to take part in it. So yeah, I'm gonna put it at D. And then we have tennis. I don't think I've ever played it. No, I take that back. I played it once. So I'm gonna go. Or no, I played. Yeah, was it tennis? I think it was. Yeah, I'm gonna. I think I did a long time ago. It's gonna go based on the factor of having played it and watching it. I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go A for that one. Bowling. Okay, this I love playing it. I could play it every day, all day. So it deserves a S tier, no matter, no questions asked. Golf. Golf is fun, but it costs so much. So I mean, I would play it. I'll play it if it's cheap. Because like back home, I can play it for like I can't remember how much I paid for it, but like I'm gonna say like maybe $20 for nine holes, maybe even 18. Can't remember how much it cost. So I'm gonna put that at a C. And then we have spike ball. Never played it. Haven't really watched it much, so I'm gonna go D. And then we have track and field. I'm just gonna put that at D because I find it boring to watch, and there's no way I'm doing that. Skateboarding. The only really skateboarding I've ever watched is Tony Hawk, and the only skateboarding I've ever done is play Tony Hawk's video games. So with that, it goes in the C. Then we have water polo. A lot of fun to watch. Never tried it. Probably won't. Yeah, I don't think I'd ever do it. I'm gonna put that at B. Basketball. I played it a little, not good. So it's going B. I'll watch it, hands down. And now I think this is ping pong, if I'm not mistaken. That's gonna be an A. Played it a few times. Not good, of course. I'm not that big of sports. I'm not a bit great sports player. And then we got football. Haven't played it. Don't want to play it. I'll watch it. I'm a big Cardinals fan, so it's definitely not D. I'm gonna put it at B, honestly. And now soccer. I think soccer it's an S tier. I played it when I was a kid. As a kid, I didn't like it just because you had to go to practice. Like I think it was like twice a week, and then you got a game every weekend, and that's not really what I want to be doing on my weekends. But yeah, it goes with S. And by the way, if you're listening to this on the podcast, check us out on YouTube, and you can see us actually doing this in video form. So now we have. I'm going to go with hockey. It might not be hockey, but I hope it is. I haven't played it. Don't think I ever will, but I enjoy watching it. So it gets. You know what? I'm I'm going to put this at A. Football goes to A. And now baseball. I played T-ball when I was really little. I love watching baseball, so it gets an S. Lacrosse, I don't really know much about it, so I can't say if it's bad or good. So, to be fair, I'll give it a C. And cross country, that gets a D. So, to recap, on the S tier, we have rugby, bowling, soccer, baseball. The A tier, we got volleyball, tennis, ping pong, hockey, football. On the tier, excuse me, we got badminton, swimming, water polo, basketball. C, we got boxing, golf, skateboarding, lacrosse. D, we got archery, biking, spike ball, track and field, and cross country. Let us know how you would rank these. And now, to finish out our episode, we're going to play, of course, our favorite game. Try not to say the same thing. So, our first question, name a Best Picture winner. I'll give you a few minutes to think of one. You said Spotlight? You're out. Name an actor from a Tarantino film. Any film of his, but it has to be a actual Tarantino film. I know Tarantino's kind of worked on other films, but it has to be, what is he on? I think he's on 9 films right now, so it can be anything on the 9 films. So, you said Harvey Keitel, you're out. And now, name a meal you can get at a movie theater. And I'm not talking candy, I'm talking like solid food, like that you could consider either a lunch or a dinner. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to think, or a couple seconds. You said hot dog, you're out. Now name a movie theater chain. This, I mean, by like any of the major movie theater chains across the country. You said AMC, you're out. And finally, name a number from 1 to 10. That's right, 1 to 10, any number. You said 6, you're out. How did you do? Let me know in the comment section below. And of course, before we go, don't forget, give us a thumbs up if you like our video. Subscribe, hit that subscribe button that's right down there. Should be right there. Hit the bell notification button to be notified of future videos. And of course, if you want to support the channel, please consider buying us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/cinemagold. The money you send us goes right back into the channel. We can upgrade our equipment, bring in new hosts, be able to pay them, and one day take this show on the road. I'd love to stream an episode from, possibly a Oscars night or a movie premiere, anywhere. And you can help make that happen. As always, thank you so much for watching and listening. If you want to check us out, you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. Just search the Cinema Gold Show. Of course, for those listening, don't forget you can find us on all major podcast platforms, including Good Pods. Check us out today. And thank you so much for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time.